Hey everyone, welcome back to the course. In the previous video, we have talked about how we can connect our basically our Salesforce environment with the help of JWT and using a SSL certificate. Okay, so here in this video, we'll talk about how we can create a Jenkins pipeline project. We have already seen, but this time we are also going to talk about few stages because we have already talked about what a pipeline is. Then we will talk about a sample Jenkins files because this is very important file, and this is the file where we are going to put all our SFDX commands to execute and deploy the changes. Then we are going to see the demo, and after that, and the end, before we go ahead, we are going to configure some environment variables so that we can use those environment variables for the Jenkins pipeline in the coming videos. This is the pipeline, how it is going to look like. Basically, this is a syntax. So what we have is the topmost statement is pipeline. Okay, after that we are going to define some agents. Agent can be any, it can be Ubuntu agent, it can be Macintosh, or it can be any other Docker container if you are using. Under that pipeline, as we have already talked about, there are various stages like build, test, deploy, compile, integration. So we can have multiple stages. So we have given multiple stages over here, and then under stages we will have stage. So we have got build stage, got stage which is testing, which is for deployment, and each stage we will have multiple steps. Suppose that we wanted to connect with our Salesforce environment, then we wanted to create a scratch org, then we wanted to deploy the changes to that scratch org. Okay, those will be the steps under a single stage. We'll say that create scratch org. That kind of steps we are going to have. So let's quickly see basically what is first we'll talk about this Jenkins files. We'll talk about this pipeline stages, and then we will create those inside our Jenkins. So before we go ahead, please make sure you have started your Jenkins and you are already logged in into your Jenkins dashboard. So this is a URL where we can get all about Jenkins files. Once we will be working with Salesforce pipeline, we will talk about the URL from where we can get the data related to or information related to the Jenkins files. So here you can see we have got a Jenkins files. If we talk about what a Jenkins files is, this is something which we have already seen. Okay, the pipeline which is telling us the agents, stages. If you scroll down a little bit, you will see how we can build. Okay, we have got multiple ways to build. Like if you are working for a project which is not a Salesforce project, you can use Maven, you can use Docker containers, you can use some other Bamboo, you can use any other tool for building your projects, compiling the codes, and then you can have test. So these are all the codes that you can have. You can execute shell commands, you can also execute batch commands, you can execute some unit testing using JUnit tools or other unit testing tools. Then for the deployment phase, we can have multiple things. We can say what is the current build result. We can also access the build environments variable. So to access those variables, you can see we've got build ID, which is the build number basically. Build tag, we are getting the URL, executor number. So multiple things we can access over here, and then we can do all these things. Okay. So we will run a very basic command over here. We'll just copy this pipeline to show you how these stages are going to work. Then get back to your Jenkins dashboard. We've already created few projects. We'll again click on new item. This time we'll select pipeline and we will say that pipeline demo and then click on OK. If there is already a project, you will get the error. If not, you will be redirected to the pipeline. In the general section, you can put the description. You can provide what kind of project it is. We are not going to provide. You can provide the build triggers we've already talked about. We've got pipelines. The main important things here, we can either provide pipeline script over here or we can select pipeline from SCM. Okay, so what we'll do is we will write the pipeline this time here. You can also have try sample pipelines like hello world, GitHub, scripted pipeline. Okay, you can select any of these. If you select hello world, you will see the similar kind of code we are getting, which we have copy pasted from the link. Okay, if we say GitHub plus Maven, we can get the URL over here how GitHub and Maven is going to work. You can see here, right? This is your repository. This is how you are going to run the project into the Unix. If you have a scripted pipeline, you can also have a scripted pipeline like stage present preparation, where we are going to cloning our git. Then we have got build. So all kind of things we have already got, right? We'll just go ahead, copy this, the same pipeline that we have copied. Okay, if you wanted to have some other build, let's say that stage test, let's say that I can here put integration. Okay, we can say that integration over here. You have some other, you can send to QA, or you have some, let's say that data import, you are importing some data. Okay, you can just go ahead and import here, say that data import. Okay, then you can say that permission set assignment, if you are assigning permissions, right? So you say that assign permission, so you will say that we are assigning the permission over here, right? And then we have got, just go ahead and apply this and then click on save. So once you have saved, we have got our pipeline. You can see for the pipeline project, we have got pipeline syntax as well. We have got full stage view. So if you click here, full stage view, we'll be able to see all the stages over here. But we haven't any pipeline, so we are not able to see. We will go ahead, click on this build now. This is our this is the place basically which we are using for all the projects to execute. Click on this run. Okay, not run, click on this build number, and this build number is going to give us the pictorial representation of all these pipelines. Okay, so we are here. This is the console output. You can see, we can also see the uh, plain text. If you wanted to see some sort of pipeline stages, just click on this pipeline stages, and this time we will see the stages in the form of tables. You can see start of the pipelines, this is taking that much time. Okay, and if you wanted to see the pipeline view, you can just go to the project in the pipeline demo, which the project we have created, and you can see this build is still running. Okay, so we'll wait for this build to run. This is saying no data available. Once the build is run, we will see the data over here as well. As you can see here in the console, we are able to see all these stages, right? So we can just go get back. This time we'll try to see pipeline stage. So we'll be able to see all the stage. You can see here how it is looking like in the form of table, how many time, like how much time it took, right? Get back to project, and here in the project you can just you'll be able to see, you see here stage view. This is build, test, integration, data import, assign permission, deploy. So that is how your build is work, that is how your pipeline is work, and it is going to tell you the complete timeline, how much time it has taken to complete one stage. If you go ahead and click on build now, you will be able to see the two things over here. Basically, this is for the build number one, there will be build number two. You can see here we are getting, and it is telling us how many approx time it will take to complete. It did taken 1 second. Now it is running test environment, then it will go to integration, and it has done all those things. So that is how your pipeline is going to work. We will talk about in terms of Salesforce as well when we are working with the coming videos. Now let's talk about what all environment variable we need to configure inside our Windows machine so that we can access those environment variables inside our Jenkins pipeline. Okay, so there are four variables which we are going to create. One is dev.org.dh. We can say this is basically going to contain the username of our Salesforce environment. It can be your dev.org, or it can be sandbox, or any other org which we are going to connect or we are going to use inside our Jenkins pipeline. Then this is the SFDX host DH. We say that this is the URL. It can be login.salesforce.com, test.salesforce.com, or any custom URL if you have my domain enabled. This is the connected app consumer key which we have which we got in the previous lecture. So we'll get that key here. And then there is one JWT credential ID. This JWT credential ID will get from the Jenkins. So let's quickly create the environment variable for all these. So we have to create environment variable one by one. So I will just go ahead and search for environment. You also need to follow the same over here. Go ahead, click on environment variables, and then select environment variables. We need to create under system variables because we wanted the environment variable to be same for all the users. We are not going to create the user specific. We'll create system specific. Go ahead, click on new. This is the value, okay? Sorry, name, and this is the value where we wanted to connect. So I need to put this. I'll click on OK. I've got one variable dev.org. Then we will create next, which is going to be SFDC host. So we'll provide the value for login.salesforce.com. You can provide any other value. Next, we have got connected app consumer key. We'll go ahead, click on new, and this is the connected app consumer key which we have copied from the previous step. Go ahead and provide it here. Now what we have is, we have got another which is JWT credential ID. What we have said is, we are going to get the value from our Jenkins. So what we'll do is, we'll get back to Jenkins dashboard, and from the Jenkins dashboard we are going to create a credentials over here. So what we'll do is, we'll say here minus Jenkins, go to manage plugins, and once you are here under the manage plugins, not manage plugins, sorry, instead of manage plugins we need to click on manage credentials. So click here manage credentials, and then select Jenkins, and then global credentials, and click on add credentials. Okay, so here instead of username and password we need to select a secret file, and we need to upload the secret file which is server.key, which we have downloaded in previous step. Okay, we have generated basically in the previous step. So this is our server.key file. Make sure this is the key file which you need to upload, and the name is server.key, not server.pass.key. Open it and then click on save. Not save, click on OK. We have created the credentials. Now we will get the credential ID. So what we need to do is, we just need to click on this server.key. This is our secret file. Okay, we'll just click on that server.key. You can see this is the credential ID. Click on update. You will get the credential ID over here. Just copy it and get back to your environment variable and post the value. Paste the value whatever you have copied and click on OK. So now we have got all our 4 variables that we have created. I can say here Salesforce prod key, because this is for Salesforce prod. So we'll say that Salesforce prod key. So if we have multiple keys for multiple environment, we can quickly differentiate between those. So we will get back to our credentials, and this time we will see all these things. So now as we have done with our environment variables, what we need to do is, we need to restart the PC in order to access these environment variable inside our Jenkins pipeline script. So this is it for this video. Thank you for your time, and we'll meet into the next video where we will talk about how we can write the Jenkins pipeline using SFDX statements. Thank you.